Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 7 of Egginburgh, our Cities Skylines 2 series. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's episode, I want to use the medieval castle to create the city's first proper sightline, and I guess also a historical landmark, which is a build we haven't really tried before, so I'm keen to see how this is going to come off. And don't forget, we are on our push to 100,000 subscribers, so if you are watching the content and keep coming back to it and haven't subscribed yet, please do consider doing so. It would mean the world to me, and again, pushing for 100k, so thank you so much for all the support. Otherwise, let's get on with some Cities Skylines 2, shall we? So, before we do get started with today's build, we actually have some issues to address in the downtown. We have a little bit of abandonment, so let's see if we can figure out why. We've got high crime, poor education, and crap healthcare, so we need to address some service issues within the city before we carry on today. So we've got crime. We do have a fully upgraded police station, but we can see that all 12 cars are patrolling. If we were to have a look at our crime statistics, there's a 40% chance of a crime success rate. That seems really high. So we certainly need another police station today. So let's go ahead and get this in. Now we could use some of our development points, but I'm pretty sure that the next police station is absolutely enormous. Yeah, the police headquarters is just too big for what I'm building for right now, so I think we'll go ahead and plop down another police station over this side of the town. So today we're planning to do a little bit of work down this arterial system, and I want to start upgrading a lot of these single family homes into just something with a bit more density about it. So let's go ahead and make that police station part of that density. Where do we want to place this? Let's go for here on the corner. We'll have that there. And then while we've also placed it, we will upgrade it as well. I think we will. And then I also want to make sure that we remove any zonings around here, because we're going to be removing a lot of these homes today. Cool, so that should fix some of the police issues we're having. Hopefully we'll see some people come out now, or police rather. There they go. Wonderful news, off to patrol. And then healthcare was also an issue, so I think we'll grab another med clinic. And we'll bring this over to here to serve this side of the town, because the other one's all the way over there by the main street. And that should be good there. And again, how are we doing? Still got decent cemetery availability. And healthcare's in the middle of the green now, so I don't think we need to put the upgrades on this one just yet. We'll wait till we start to fail again a little bit. But nice little med clinic opposite our park here. Should go quite a long way, I think. And then education was the other one as well, isn't it? So we're probably in need of a university as well now, which we might place today. Our elementary school is fully upgraded and it's at max capacity, so we're certainly in need of another one. Let's have a little look-see. How about over here? It looks like it wants a lot of education, doesn't it? So again, we're going to be replacing a lot of these homes today. So why don't we see if we can make a bit of a block for our school here. Let's go for just here again, a little bit further up from the police station. Sounds like a good shout. And we'll have this as part of our main street. And then what we will do is also give this its upgrade as well if we can. We'll have the little playground on the corner. And we'll go ahead and upgrade that to max capacity already. Okay. And whilst we're also here, we can see we've got some pretty decent demands. So I'm going to use this as an excuse to start introducing some 3D mixed-use zoning, I think. And we'll start getting rid of a lot of these homes as well. But also lots of new signature building. The Epicurean Garden, luxurious living spaces atop a high-end restaurant. Made for those who appreciate life for its pleasures. How fancy. So we even place this. So this is the European mixed-use one. So this is going to give us +1 attractiveness citywide and a +4 well-being within 750 meters. So we've got a bit of commercial on the corner. How about we have this here? No. That is not a building for this particular part of the city. We will put this in the downtown though. Let's go ahead and have this. Let's see, we've got a lot of commercial here, haven't we? Let's get rid of this small commercial. And we'll place in some of that. We'll remove this commercial zone in now as well. And we've got a little bit of medium density, so let's get an apartment block in there, shall we? Something like that. How are we feeling about downtown Egginburgh now? Or was this Central Whisky, isn't it? Not downtown Egginburgh, really. Well, I've got to be honest, I'm enjoying the way that the downtown is developing. It's starting to grow on me a little bit. There's a particularly nice vista here, as you kind of move between a couple of the buildings. There's some nice happy prop arrangements here. There's blokes just come and stood in the alleyway. You alright, mate? What are you doing? Going home? Oh. Few people walking to the bottom of this alleyway, apparently. You're all okay? You're working? Are you sure? Looks like you're skiving to me. But that's okay, isn't it? But anyway, what I do want to do, today's episode, is bring in a castle. So, of course, we're not really going for a Scottish-inspired build today, or in this series as a whole, but there's kind of a natural crescendo here within the land, right? We can see we're rising uphill here, and there's a sightline I want to bring in to actually place the medieval castle essentially at the head of this road, alright? I think that's going to be quite a lot of fun. What on earth is that? Oh, it's the cranes. There we go. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. So, let's have a look at this, shall we? So, let's come into our elevation, and first of all, I want to bring this up probably maybe 15 or so contour lines. Quite a harsh elevation here. And then let's draw out a nice wide platform, so we've got plenty of room to play with. So push this back a little bit, soften out any inconsistencies that arrive. And this should do me for what I'm after today. So we need to come into our development tree, and I want to grab some parks. We're going to open tourist attractions for 8 points, which is quite expensive. But this is going to give us access to the medieval castle, which is plus 20 indoor recreation, which is quite cool. It's quite expensive, but this is going to be a real centerpiece for the city, I think. So let's place this probably about there. Okay, so when we look at this now from the rest of the city, you can kind of see it everywhere, right? Which obviously historically would absolutely make sense for a castle. Kind of put it on the high point around the town, and wherever you are in Whiskey, you can really see this castle, which I absolutely love. You know, you can imagine probably 300-400 years ago that the people of Egginburgh would station up here to defend against bad textures and poorly optimized simulation. I think is the biggest problems they have to deal with at the minute, isn't it? But otherwise, what a sightline, right? But of course it needs road and power and whatnot. So let's have a little look at this. So I think what I do want to do is come in with our alleyway, and first of all I want to snap to the sides of a building, and I want to draw this alleyway all the way around the edge of the castle. Wonderful. That gives me that. Then what I want to do is bring in some pedestrian street snapped into the grid frame. And then I want to draw this around the edge of that current alleyway frame that we've just drawn in. Cool, so now we have that in. I want to go ahead and push the terrain back up against that pedestrian road, because we're going to use this as a bit of a, I guess kind of like an outer wall almost, and do some roundabout stuff to make it look like it's got kind of extra turrets on it. It's going to take a little while to come together today's build, but as always, please do bear with it. Cool, so the process here, right, is we want to have this here. We'll talk about this side while we've got it in the sun, and then we'll time-lapse up the rest of it. So once I've got my terrain pushed back against that road, I want to delete it. And then we're just going to bring our brush size down as well. It gives us a bit more finesse. Just sort of push that back in line. So what we're looking to do here is activate Cities 2's cut and fill system. And you can see we do that just by making sure the terrain is aligned. If you're not familiar with this process, I'd strongly suggest that you go ahead and check out our road tools guide. It covers how to use all this sort of stuff. Cool. So that's what we want, but we can see we're not aligned there. And we want to make sure that we're not snapped into cell length and go to existing geometry. 180 degrees. Although we are dipping down there, so let's make sure that that's not happening. And we can just do that by correcting the terrain height. Seems a little bit better to me. Make sure we are snapping to 180 degrees. And then when we do begin to push these layers down now, this is going to give essentially like an outer wall to the castle, right? So this is what I want to do today. To kind of put the castle up on a plinth, and then we'll develop a little road up to it. And also bring a lot of these frames around as well, and just continue to expand the city. We'll upgrade a lot of this small single family homes into a bit more medium density as well, I think, today. Get some row houses down here, a bit of mixed use, etc. So anyway, we'll time lapse up the rest of this process and then we can give it a road connection. So that roughly, if not a little bit more kind of finagling and designing left over, is pretty much what I'm after. So let's sort of take a few looks around this from the town, shall we? I'm a huge fan of that, I've got to say. That's really brought whiskey to life, hasn't it? Having that big castle overlooking the entire town here, no matter where we're sat. Imagine, you know, you're a tourist arriving by a sort of central whiskey bus station and you merge out to these stationary sims doing nothing with their time. What, you alright, love? You taking a selfie? I don't like she was, wasn't she? Anyway. But you know, you get the point, you emerge out and you can see that castle from wherever you are in Whiskey, which is a real kind of cool point for me at least. I hope you guys appreciate that as well, because it's certainly a lot of fun, isn't it? I really enjoy that. So hopefully we'll see our first people arrive up here. Now, the reason why I did the alleyway around the castle first was because I want to add small roundabouts onto these one here, because they kind of turn it into like an extra turret, right? Kind of like it is on the castle. You know how it's like a rounded turret. So I want to add one of these onto each corner, right? Now you could do this in several tiers as well if you have the patience for it. You could kind of do it on 3 or 4, but I think 1 is going to be enough for me for right now anyway, at least. Otherwise, it's not too bad at all, is it? Cool. So we got some high rent windows here, but that's okay. That's not too bad for right now, I don't think. We'll deal with them at some point down the future. So I also want quite a lot of trees around this as well, so let's make sure we do this at the same time. We'll get a slightly smaller brush and we'll do lots of oaks around the bottom. We'll also get some pathways through here as well during our detailing time lapse today. But not, again, like I said at the start, we're not particularly going for Edinburgh recreation here, but there's certainly inspiration to be taken from Edinburgh Castle. And it has a pedestrian walkway up to it. There's also a cathedral nearby as well, or a church, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And then there's also a lot of pathways around the base of the castle as well, so that's where we'll draw some inspiration from today. But otherwise, don't mind that at all. I think that's quite fancy, isn't it? Especially once all those trees are growing up around it. And maybe we can get some sort of bush lining heading up to the top there as well. Again, if that just needs to be smoothened out a little, doesn't it? But that's detail, next problem. So let's sort of turn our attention now towards expanding the road networks around here, because we're reaching the edge of Whiskey and kind of need to decide how we're going to hook into this national road before we head kind of over the hills and far away to work on another separate town away from Whiskey. I'm really looking forward to turning Egginburgh into that county. It's going to be quite a lot of fun, I think. Cool, so let's just time-lapse up some road extensions here of where we think would make the most sense to sort of expand from, but because we have messed with the terrain, we are going to have to be careful. So let's actually slope this first. There we go, and then just soften out some of that nastiness that's been prepared. Yeah, so let's just time-lapse up some road frame extensions here. So Cynthia Castile is about to walk up to the castle here. Now I'm assuming this is something to do with the fact the castle is a tourist attraction. Because when people reach the outside of it, they take a little selfie, which is quite cool actually. I really like that actually. The Sims take a little selfie when they arrive at a tourist attraction. So she's kind of walking up here now. And she's going to go inside, or just hang around on the rampart, I guess. Is this a rampart? The castle police will probably come after me for that one, I'm not sure. I have to excuse my castle knowledge. There you go, there's one of the Gurning Sims. God, they need to fix these models, don't they? Look at that face. God, looks like she's chewing a wasp. But either way, Cynthia is enjoying pristine views over whiskey now, isn't she? I'm really happy with this, everyone. It's really brought the town to life, hasn't it? But you guys are also keen on the idea of bringing trams down this street to run into downtown. Because of course we've got kind of the BRT and the buses serving the sort of left side of Central Whisky and West Whisky out here. We're also going to need a castle name, aren't we? So please get those down in the comments as well today. Are we just going to go for Whiskey Castle, or should it be named after a particular lord? Again, it's up to you guys, please do let me know. But in the spirit of getting rid of these crap single family homes, we're going to de-zone all of this now. You guys are going to have to find other places to live. I am sorry, but this isn't Phoenix, so we can't just have endless fields of these things around. So we're going to keep adding density around here. Let's get some office space on this main street as well. Let's get that growing up. I'd also be keen for a little more mixed use here now as well. Let's see how a little 3 deeps have grown up. A little bit of mixed use European here. I don't mind that. The game's a lot more friendly to slopes here now, isn't it? I think going uphill there. I think I quite enjoy that. And then we'll also get rid of these zonings over this way, and we can probably replace this road here now, this pathway, with a little alleyway behind these houses. We'll probably do a little bit more zoning, and maybe some smaller apartments over here that might be welcome as we begin to add density around the main street. Okay, so slowly we'll start phasing out the single family homes. So if we are going to do trams, we need to find a spot for the tram depot, which kind of looks like it might fit nicely on this corner here, right? Again, education, there's a lot to do. Again, because we're expanding so slowly, I feel like we're just missing out. We've got 27% poorly educated, only 12.5% uneducated now. How are we doing for jobs and stuff? 12.8% unemployment, it's not horrific. And we're filling most jobs pretty well, actually. Doing pretty well, only 40 open positions. Yeah, we definitely just need more jobs in the city, don't we? So let's continue to bring in offices and whatnot. We've got a ton of office demand right now, so we'll keep satisfying it. So let's dive into the wonderful world of trams for the first time. We'll go ahead and grab trams for 2 points. Nice and cheap, isn't it? And we will grab our tram depot, which is real big boy, isn't it? Big asset, this one. So let's have a look what's going to happen. I'm guessing it's insanely loud as well, is it? It's only medium noise pollution. It's not the loudest thing ever, is it? So if we're going to place that there, again, we will continue to remove a lot of these homes that are small and low density to replace it with probably mixed use on this main street, I imagine. Let's get some parks around here as well, actually. We get a large sports park. I'd like one up on the main street if possible. Is that going to be a fits and sits moment? I think it is, isn't it? Looks like it is. So yeah, we'll have a pitch here. Again, let's continue to de-small home West Whisky. And we will go for a bit more mixed use here. And some row housing in that spot there. Although let's make sure we do this correctly. Don't want them growing that way. Also make sure they're growing to their full depth potential as well. Don't want lots of mismatch housing depths here. There you go. And now we can zone that final stretch. Cool. And that looks a happy place for a pathway, does it? If my senses are correct. Looks like it is. Wonderful. We'll bring that up against the football pitch as well and down there. I'm very much enjoying redeveloping areas of Egginburgh, which isn't something we did at all in CS1. And we very much just continue to expand, but I don't know, for some reason CS2 it feels a bit more appropriate. Do you not agree? I'm not sure why that is though. Right, so now we have trams in, let's actually upgrade our main road here with tram tracks. So does this change, I wonder, depending on what type of large road we use? If we had one with a division in the middle. Ah, yes it does, doesn't it? So we could run the trams right down the middle. It does take up a lot of room. If we to upgrade this into large road, yeah, we're going to take out a ton of zoning with that, aren't we? Yeah, but we're definitely not adding another lane here. What happens if we add a bus lane to this? You have to excuse me everyone, we are sort of finding out what goes on here. Okay, so we could add bus lanes and tram to this one road. Which, I mean, does that leave any room for cars? I guess that's good planning though, right? Make the roads focused around public transport and not the car. I guess it can only be a good thing. So let's go for it, I guess. Let's, now this might be a little finicky here. Maybe we should be rotating the tram stop here. I think we will. Yeah, let's give it a little swing around this way. There we go, just so we've not got those two nodes that close together. The AI handles it a lot better in cities too. But still not perfectly. Cool, so let's upgrade this whole avenue now with public transport. We're going to come through with, then again I guess we're going to need to go to asymmetrical here, aren't we, as we come in. But either way, let's upgrade this whole tram system right down into the downtown with trams, and we'll see how it performs. So we just named our new tram lines now. That will also change this into about nice blue colour. What that should do. So I'm pretty sure we've got some inconsistencies on the line here that need to be addressed. Yeah, so stuff where we've got the asymmetrical roads facing into the larger junctions now doesn't really make sense, does it? But we'll see how it performs before we do change it, because we've really kind of prioritise public transport moving down this area now, right? And of course the buses are also interchanging with these as well, that also run off onto the BRT system and are now interchanging with all this. So slowly but surely we're starting to see a really interconnected public transport system for Whiskey come together, which I'm really happy about. And people are going to get off this bus here while we're here. Wonderful, look at that. Fantastic. So, trams for the first time, everyone. I have had to move the water tower, which is a little bit of a shame, but I've moved it for trams, so I think I'm okay with that. We'll see the stop here, as people get in on and off, and then this is going to come further down where there's another one. I'm assuming the rest of the tram is going to change colour. Did I only change... I only change one of them? Yeah, it should change, I guess. Got 3 vehicles on it currently as well. But anyway, it comes down here, and I envision one day, once we actually have this bridge in, that's going to cross the lock. We'll also send the trams down there as well, so eventually the tram runs right down from the top of the castle. Look at that sightline! How nice is that? Real big fan of that, everyone. That's super, super nice. Yes, please. That makes me a happy egg. Love a sightline. It's nice to see our first happy sightline develop in CS2, right? But Central Whiskey's getting busy now, isn't it? Well, hopefully those trams are going to take a fair bit of traffic off of the road. And we'll see it perform the traffic, because we've really prioritised public transport coming through here, haven't we? I'm also interested as well to make sure that this roundabout doesn't back up, because it's got trams coming over it now. It shouldn't. We've done stuff like this in CS1 before and it was okay. But, because you never know how the new simulation is going to perform, do you? It's okay for the time being at least. But I am happy with that, and it has to be said. And a lot of this density is growing now, so we've got some apartment blocks over here too. I'm not happy with the transition from apartment blocks to low density. I think we'll switch that out for a bit of commercial. Let's D-zone again the small family homes. I realise we're going to create a big spike here for low density, aren't we? Because we're removing so much of it, but that's okay. And then I think we'll go commercial here as well, bring some of that commercial demand down. And how far away are we from high density office? The next milestone, isn't it? Yeah, not too far away now. We should have that for next episode. See what our Sims are tweeting about. Make sure everyone's okay. Running out of fuel, visit a new gas station. Gabriella is in love with leisure opportunities. The electricity department's happy as well. Yeah, Kieran's pissed off. I bet we evicted Kieran, didn't we? Yeah, look at that. 600 likes. Yeah. People, they want somewhere to live. We just got crazy residential demand at the minute. It's pretty relentless. But, you know, we'll give them what they want. Let's, why don't we replace some of these single family homes with medium density. And we'll start getting some row houses in here as well. Imagine a lot of the detailing today is going to be recorrecting a lot of these sort of zone demands here. We'll see how it turns out. Again, let's just delete anyone that doesn't grow properly. Now you are aligned to a different grid. You are aligned to this one here, which is a real shame, but we'll work with that. We can work with this. We just need to delete these two roads and then zone them in. Then they'll grow, and then pause it as well if you don't want anyone to abandon. And then we want to make sure that we're drawing those back in, although we will lose some of those grids there, won't we? Which is okay. It's going to throw the pattern off ever so slightly, but it's going to grow how I want it to anyway. And delete those smaller shapes where we don't need them. So I think we'll just generally surround this central block that's beginning to grow up with medium density row housing, I think. We got quite a big dip there, haven't we, with the school? I'm not a fan of that, I have to admit. Yeah, that is a real big slope there, isn't it? Is there a flatter space we could possibly relocate you to? Let's have a look at our topography lines. Let's go into terraforming. Up here seems to be a bit calmer, doesn't it? I think we might do that then in that case. Let's just delete that elementary school for right now. We'll fill it back in with some other zoning. The school here. And again, we'll throw those upgrades immediately on it. And we'll have our playground against the back. And I don't want any zonings growing up here either. Let's give the school a little bit of breathing room. And we'll do some trees and pathways around here and whatnot. But this main street here, what is this street actually called? Robin Street. Yeah, it's had a real upgrade today, hasn't it? Lots of density come into it, but I'm really happy with the way the town's growing up, has to be said. I am enjoying it. But you are as well. But either way, this feels like a good place for a little bit of path time lapsing, and indeed some zone refinements around the main street. And I might introduce another kind of super node over here. We did it with this one on this side, but we might do it a bit further down. We'll sort of see how these junctions perform off the couplet system. Yeah, just sort of generally tie the area together, a bit more zoning, some detailing, and plenty of trees, which is pretty much all we can do in CS2 at the minute. Otherwise, we'll zone and detail, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little detailing review, shall we? So you have to excuse me, we actually fell into winter during the detailing, so everything's now white for the next couple of episodes. But either way, we'll come down here and just take a tour down Robin Street and enjoy the density that's now appeared here. Yeah, for some reason in CS2, I think what it is actually, I was kind of thinking why this might be as to why I'm enjoying upgrading areas when I didn't really do that in CS1. I think that's because I'm not particularly attached to them because there's no detailing, whereas so I'm quite willing for them to change, whereas that's not really the case in CS1, is it? But either way, just a random thought. We'll enjoy the trams coming down the street past all our courts. Our new police station is here now as well, and our crime rate has come down to 27%, which still seems pretty high. Maybe we do need more police stations around for Whiskey. But our blue trams now moving around. Let's have a little analysis of the line here, shall we? So 52 passengers, doesn't seem the busiest thing ever, but you know, I guess once things grow up around it, it will come busier. But there's no traffic down here, and the city itself actually is pretty traffic free at the minute. The work we did last episode has really helped, and now extra public transport always goes a long way as well, doesn't it? So we'll come down here where lots of row housing has now replaced that single-story home, so we're enjoying a nice gradual crawling height here as we look towards what is essentially becoming another town centre, all focused around the castle. And we'll crawl up Main Street. Really love the corner European mixed-use buildings, they're super nice. There's a few more of them up here as well. Just walking up this street now looks really cool. We're not getting no weird kind of ground texture tearing with sloped assets like we did in CS1, so I'm happy that that's been improved. Really nice to see kind of a sloped high street here with lots of mixed use on it above. Also dropped in another post office as well. Kind of made sense to have another one of these assets over here. And we've got another one in the town centre over there, haven't we? So a bit more post service now available. And then also scattered some more post boxes in the office park that we set up last episode. Over here there's some post availability over here now for these guys as well. And then zoned up some more low density over here. I think we're just going to wait for the trees to grow up here and leave this space pretty empty. maybe a bit more low density out here as we all look up towards this castle. There's a really nice sightline over here actually as we sort of look from the interchange we saw last episode. That's a real kind of landmark there, isn't it, the castle? So I'm super happy with how that kind of focal point of the town has turned out today. I really enjoyed it. Pathwork and more parks and trees around our school, alongside the clinic here as well, which gives something like a 5% health bonus to the kids in the city, I think, which seems, I don't know, not that useful. 5% doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, it extends the asset out and makes it seem a bit more important, doesn't it? So we've done that as well. Got a fully upgraded school here. People enjoying the football pitch now as well. They've even got some training cones out here as well, haven't they? Hopefully we'll get an update that actually animates people using these pitches. It would be tremendously helpful, wouldn't it? Just for the sake of immersion, I suppose. Then lots more office space up around the main road where we've got grass lining and tree lining now, with some more mixed use. And then of course the walk up to the castle is really sweet. We've got all these pathways that wrap around it now and link in. And you can imagine once West Whisky is fully complete, this is going to look really, really cool, with people kind of cutting through the castle grounds to get around, and further public transport extensions running out this way as well. Also hooked in the road in a couple of places and done some sort of 3 - 2, that's 1 quick lane maths out this way, just to help keep people flowing and take pressure off the other entrances into the city. And it seems to be holding up pretty nicely so far, to be honest. And there's one thing I do need to ask you guys, is so I'm thinking that I want the cathedral here. So we'll come into our parks and we'll grab the Notre Dame, which is a big boy, right? So I'm thinking having the cathedral placed with the castle would be very appropriate, kind of a little bit of medieval historical spice. Well, this is a big asset, right? This is absolutely enormous, and we'll place this down here just for scale, which will actually send us to the next milestone. And so you guys can decide this one, because I think I need your sign off. This is a very intrusive asset, but it's very nice, very beautifully modelled. So do we want the Notre Dame Cathedral? Probably next episode as we continue to complete West Whisky. Maybe partnered with the university and the castle, so it's all kind of historically accurate. So let me know, yes or no, if you want the cathedral featured in West Whisky. I think I do, but I'll be keen to see what you guys think as well. And then the tram depot has paths around it, a little bit more office zoning before filtering back through into medium density row housing, and then back into some more single family home stuff that blends back into the couplet, and back into this area, and back into the town centre. But overall, it's been a tremendously fun build today, really nice expansion and upgrade of existing areas, and we'll enjoy a view possibly from the castle back over at the rest of Whisky as we do say goodbye, because that is going to do it for today. Let's thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, likes, comments and shares below really do help me out. And if you haven't subscribed and are continuing to watch our CS content, either CS1 or 2, we are on the march to 100,000 subscribers, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the CS content, that is. Obviously, if you hate the videos, don't subscribe. But if you are, it would mean the world to me. Really enjoyed West Whisky today. I feel like I'm a lot more attached to it now. The town and Whisky is really growing out, and you think, no, this is only one town of the county that we're going to build on this map. And I'm enjoying it more and more each episode, I think. I know CS2's got its issues at the minute, that's no secret, but I'm enjoying playing Egginburgh, at least. Big shout out to all our patrons, with a special roll call to Felix Wilkinson. Thank you for all the support you guys drop on the channel. It makes these videos possible. But either way, please enjoy those cinematics, but I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.